To build my arcade cabinet, and I drew the cabinet. I bought 2 panels of 1/2 inch smooth wood, so which I'm just gonna paint the black. Here I drew how I want it. I don't want it too high. I'm gonna put LCD monitor in it. And last time I built one, I used the TV, which I took it apart and then I installed it in here, but it was extremely heavy. It was so heavy, the TV. It was a 27-inch Trinitron, Sony Trinitron, and it was heavy, and that which the wood was 3/4 thickness. Well, this one is 1/2 inch thick. I never did this with the 1/2 inch. I hope it doesn't break on me, so it's just gonna be a trial. But I don't know way you could do it by just doing it. But this is the way I drew the panel, and there's the other panel for that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a screw in here and a couple here, and this is gonna be above that, so it's gonna pretty much stick this panel with this one under it. Then I'm gonna cut it, so they don't have to do double the job. Which you could do it separately, but it's just a lot more work, and I just don't want to deal with all that. I'm just gonna cut it this way with that panel under this one, and just put screws on it so it keeps it in, like, you know, it doesn't move while I'm cutting it. So here I just, you know, I'm making curves on it so that it just won't be straight, like an angle. So I just drew the curves on it, and then you gotta make sure you feel like, you know, the joystick is gonna be right here. Make sure you feel comfortable, you know, the height of it. And because it's gonna be an LCD, I don't have to make it wide. I can make it nice and short because LCD is gonna fit right in here, in the computer there, and in the coin slot. Which I had to build this here because this is a router table, which the router table costs $100 at the store, which I didn't want to do that because I wasn't going to use it all the time. So I decided to build one up. I built myself one here. I got the wood from my job that was just trashing it, so I just kind of put it together and made a hole here. Which this router is extremely heavy, and I think if I just use the router on top of those 1/2 inch, I think it's just shredded apart. So the safe way, I think, is doing this, making this router table, and then put the router under here, screw it from there, and then size up the router bit. I got 1/16 on it, and then just make my T-molding so that I can put molding on the arcade, which is gonna cut right in here. I have to make it just right so that it doesn't shred the 1/2 inch. The last time I made the cabinet was 3/4 inch, which gives you a lot more room. But 1/2 inch, I didn't want to make it too heavy because these 3/4 inch panels are extremely heavy, and then when you add all the stuff on it, it's extremely heavy. So you have to, and these router go super fast, and they can really do damage. So what I want to do is put that under there, and then put the panel after I cut it here, and then just kind of, you know, make the T-molding on it as that work. So I just did this, so, you know, I mean, it's cheap, and I hope my boss ain't looking at it. It's his wood, but it's for a greater purpose, so hey, it's for fun. So alright, well, this is my progress so far. I have to go to Home Depot and get some more supplies. Okay, I set up the panels under it. Did you see there's 2 layers right here? I don't have to put the screws all the way down in there, just partially enough to touch the other one, so I guess so I can put it with wood. But I had a whole bunch of clamps, but somebody stole my clamps. I don't know what they're at now, so I'm just stuck with one. But I think these screws, because they're connected the way they are, they could just hold the panels really good here. I don't have a stand, so I decided to use the stands here that I got here, which I would move around after I finish cutting one section of the panels here. So when I cut this one, then I'll move it so that I could cut the top, then back to the bottom again, which I'll move it again as I go. I will have to stop. And so I got this saw here at Walmart, and just so you could do this job real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it, and I'm gonna cut a certain amount, then I'll stop and then videotape it, see how it looks. Okay, so far I cut this part already. See how it hangs? Oops, I better not put a clamp on it so it holds it in place as I finish it off over there. It looks pretty good so far. I've been following the line with this one. I had to use this old one because the one I bought at Walmart, the tip of it was like a zigzag, which is not gonna make a smoother cut, so it's worthless. I shouldn't have even gotten that. Got this old one that I had before, that I used before, and it works very well. So I'm gonna continue cutting. This is how it looks so far as it cuts through. Okay, I had to make a hold here because the drill couldn't just curve like that. So I'm gonna start off though, put this inside the little hole there, and then drill going out this way. So that's the only way I could to work that way. So I had to get something big enough, a bit big enough, so that it goes wide enough. I mean wide enough for this, so that it fit right inside that hole, which it did. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue cutting, but that's one of the obstacles you probably run into. There's other ways of how to deal with it, but this is it's a good way, I guess. Hey, I ran into a little bit of trouble right here as I was trying to groove it in there. Didn't smooth out. So what I'm gonna do is try to sand it down. But I stopped right here because if I could just finish off from here all the way down, maybe up to here, or maybe even here, I could just cut it up here and then just finish off this right here, this section right here, just finish this off. So I had to rearrange a few things, but I think it's a good idea to do it that way. If I just start from the top, it's just gonna be this much weight on this side, so I have to make sure that go, pretty much slowly. Just take your time when you cut these things. Don't push it, don't rush it. Just let the saw cut it, and as it's cutting it, it'll just gradually move it down. And just take your time, no matter how long it takes, as long as you get it straight, because these panels cost a lot of money, and you want to make sure it's nice and straight, so you have to redo it all over again, and you don't want to do that. So I guess this is the hardest part, I would say, when cutting the wood, because when you do the side, the front of it and the back of it, just small pieces which you could fix later. But this is the hardest part when you're cutting it. Make sure that you take your time, just nice and slow, and if you feel like taking a break, take a break and just cut it as that. So alright, continue progress.